welcome back, everybody, to the channel. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in YouTube entertainment today. And today, I have a very special panel here. We had such fun in our respective interviews. I decided to bring the gals back together because I saw you guys interacting in the chat, and I go, this would be funny to get you guys live and hear all the wacky shenanigans. So we have the gangster Shelby Soup in the house, and we have the wonderful Les. What's up, guys? How are you guys doing today?
Good. Thanks for inviting me on. It's a lot of fun. Wait, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you.
Okay, because my audio cut out for a second. I'm good. Thanks for inviting me. I thought I would channel my inner gangster. I've got my chain on. This is 50 karat gold. I got it from the Dollar Tree, so I paid a lot of money for that. So I'm glad to be here. This is water. This is sparkling water, by the way. I know it's not alcohol. I don't have my cork with me.
So is this? Don't worry.
No, I don't believe what she's saying. You can believe me, but I don't know about that down there.
And of course, let me go highlight some people in the chat because I like to say hi to everyone really quickly.
Yes.
Geez, I actually have a lot of people here so far. Carmen, what's up? Justice for Jade. Yeah, I'm just gonna say JFD. Rob, what's up, Rob? I feel like I talked to you yesterday. No, go check that out too. Me and Rob had a great stream. Janny, Sabine, Shelly, Nadia. If I mispronounce your name, I'm from Krypton, and human translation's a little spotty. Okay, so forgive me. Tina, what's up? Cherry, the wonderful Cherry K. I am convinced
Cherry.
She is one of the best mods I think I've ever seen across channels, honestly. Al,
everyone does a great job.
Yeah, they all do.
Tiffany. What's up, Tiffany and Amanda? I think I got everyone I can see for right now. If I don't get to you, I apologize. And Henrika, I remember you because you just asked me, do I ever forget my intro? No, I do not forget my intro. I've been saying it now for a year and some change. I could say it perfectly. I could probably even say it backwards because, when you don't lie about something, it's easy to remember. Oh, that was a good segue. Man, that was a great segue.
You hear that, Amber? You hear that?
All right, Amber. You hear that? I know you have me on your list somewhere.
I think she has us all on a list somewhere.
Oh, I mean, I hope I'm vastly approaching that list. I've got to be because I've been pretty brash, but I brought you guys all here because I wanted to. We've all done content with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, but I wanted to come at it from a different point of view, which is there has been a huge saturation. The other day I was in the theaters, or I think it was a couple weeks ago. I went to see Promising Young Woman, right? And one of my favorite actors is Liam Neeson. Mr. Neeson, of course, has another thriller. I'm willing to bet there's some terrorists involved. There's probably him threatening them, and then him trying to escape from law enforcement. So I'm watching this, and you guys know who I see. Too. Oh yeah, there's a daughter. Yeah. So guess who I see as a police officer chasing him in the movie? You guys want to take a guess who I might have seen in this movie?
Is it a male or female?
It's a female.
It's not
Amber Heard.
Oh yes, it's Amber Heard. It's going to be Yes, she's going to be starring with Liam Neeson in this movie. I guess she plays the FBI agent or whatever, tracking him. So not only did Hollywood give her a role with one of my favorite all-time actors, but also they played the whole empowerment thing and she's the strong, tough FBI agent who's going to be chasing Liam Neeson as he goes and dispenses justice. And now I'm torn because I have seen every single Liam Neeson movie, good or bad. He's one of my all-time favorite actors.
Wait,
But
hold
then,
on. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what is this movie called again? I'm trying to look it up.
I completely forgot. I saw it in. I immediately forgot the title when I saw her because I got so angry.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry,
But
continue. Yeah.
But yeah. So I was like looking at this, and I started to realize, what is it about this woman that Hollywood, despite all of the evidence we have, seems to be enamored with her? And I want to get you guys' thought on this as women who are level-headed and have said a lot of very great points on your respective streams. Like, could you guys tell me what this fascination is? What's the selling point here?
Yeah. Is it fine if I go, Les? I don't want to steal your thunder. Were you about to start?
Go ahead.
It's like I'm getting like a glitch on my end. You guys can hear me, right? It was lagging.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're coming through fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry, it was lagging. Yeah, so I think that a lot of it has to do with being in denial because they're the whole echo chamber of Hollywood. They don't want to. They've been. I feel like because they've been so successful for so long with the Me Too movement and stuff like that, they're probably so used to being right that they are fine with ignoring the fact that this is a huge deal, because in their minds they're like, oh, whatever. Like, I don't know, because I think they can, honestly, the way they see it is it's easier to move on and act like nothing's wrong than to actually face the consequences and face that there's something truly wrong here. And I think it really comes down to a lot of that, because they're also afraid that people will attack them for some reason if they decide to come out against it, which that's just the strangest thing to me, but I really think it all comes down to that.
And Les, what do you think?
Oh, without echoing what Soups just said, because it is, I almost feel like they don't it's almost like the execs don't understand the extent to the damage she is doing. And not just to Johnny, it is the damage she is doing to the children that she didn't donate her money to the lies, to the money that she spent getting herself to the UK to create this. Like, she created this entire mess because she couldn't keep her mouth shut. Her ego wouldn't allow it. So it's almost like they don't see. It's like they don't hear us. And because mainstream media seems to think that we're all fake bots, that it doesn't matter. It's almost like, or they just see her name trending, and or Muskie got her in a movie. Someone got her in a movie, or it's just her name is generating a lot of traction, but generate a lot of traction to the point of no one wants. Well, not no one. I'm sorry, that was a complete Amber move. A good majority of people, even though, like, I wanted to see The Stand, and rightfully so. If I wanted to see The Stand, I could go see it, but I don't want to promote anything that she's in. And that hurts my soul for the other people that are in it, because I enjoy the other people that are in it. I can't get behind anything she's in. I don't want to have, like, I have this urge to throw things at my TV when she's on it, and I don't feel like buying a new TV every week. So I just think I don't know. I don't understand the fascination. They will realize how much of a mistake it was when no one shows up.
It's interesting you should say that, because I've actually suffered through the stand. I promised everyone here and a couple of people I talked to on their channel. I said, I want to do a review for this, and they're like, well, that would be promoter. I go, that's fair enough. But I go, I'm going to watch it just to see, because if you guys haven't seen my section, I do movie reviews. I critique. That's my thing. I pride myself on not being like the other critics, which is I don't take into a factor the actors that are in it. I take into account the show and what it's presenting. And I can tell everybody who was worried about missing something great, keep in mind it's on CBS All Access trash. That's what I call this station. So if you were scared you're missing something, the production in general is crap. The show in general is crap, and it has nothing to do with Amber Heard. Actually, kind of glad she's on this, because had it been good actors in this trash, I would have been much more deeply disappointed. But she's right where she needs to be. I can't stand Ezra Miller. He's made some asinine statements so I was already turned off by him. But she didn't bring it down. The writers did. They strayed so far off the book. They made it like extra violent, swearing. They do the same thing with Star Trek. I don't understand what these people think, that if they're edgy, more people will watch it. Or I guess the younger demographic. But the show is crap. Don't worry, you guys aren't missing anything. It's been painful. It's about as painful as watching Batwoman. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that one. Yeah. No, I agree. It's like, when it comes to these TV shows, Les and I have talked about how, you feel bad for the other actors, and you don't want them to have to go through all of the crap because of Amber Heard. And I read the reviews on The Stand, and a bunch of people were like, please don't trash this just because Amber Heard is in this. Don't do that. And I'm like, okay, I guess I get that. But at the same time, I would normally not be okay with something like that. But honestly, you have an abuser who's in a movie who shouldn't be getting jobs because it's been proven that she is an abuser. So honestly, I think I wouldn't necessarily say that I love that, but I also don't think people should be surprised, because look who you put in this movie. Like, it was well known before this. Like, it's just ridiculous. Or sorry, not movie, but TV show.
Yeah, that's the thing that fascinates me about this, is that it's been hard. For instance, when I went to see Captain Marvel, I had to remove the actress out of it and just watch it for the movie, because once again, I critique. But see, here's the thing. When you critique, you kind of know that that's going to be your whole bag, because with critics, they don't critique like that. I feel like the first thing they do when they go is who's in it, what's the social politics, what kind of message is it sending, do they have diversity? They're critiquing on a different level that doesn't make sense. It's become a joke. So with these things, especially with people who are hired, they're able to get away with having personal baggage as long as they're speaking the right narrative, right? That's what it's all about. And I say Amber Heard and the narrative are tied hand in hand, because the only reason why she's getting so many roles is because she went and spoke with them and did that whole Me Too thing and did that terrible promo that I'm going to do a video about for Stand Together or whatever. I hadn't seen that video. I just heard a bunch of you guys mention it. So I watched it for the first time last night, and I'm just looking after doing my stream with Stevie and listening to the audio tapes. I just look at it and I'm like, what a crock of shit. Are you saying this right now, Amber? Like, how do you say? I mean, actually, she might be the best actress I've ever seen, that she can say that with a straight face.
This is true. This is true. This is like the role of a lifetime for her. And it's kind of, if the UK is any indication, it's kind of going well for her. So I don't know. It's disgusting. But yeah, I think it's a name traction, or someone owed her a favor or something. I don't know. But if we look at her track record, all the movies that she's in, some of them are really great movies. And those great movies that I watched, I didn't even know she was in. So like London Field was a flop, and she also, and here's another thing with her and getting involved in films. She she causes issues in every film she's in. Like London Field, huge, massive issue around that one. And I think the only thing that was ever really grossing was Aquaman, and I think we can all agree of what brought in the money when it came in.
It definitely wasn't her.
No.
No one went into that going, you know what? I love the compelling story. Look, I'm gonna be real with you people. Aquaman, as far as story goes, maybe even some parts of acting and things like that, it's not the greatest movie ever. So if we're being real at what the selling point was, it was the scene where Jason Momoa was in that submarine. Like that was the smartest thing I think WB did. As soon as they showed him in the trailer, there were numerous amount of women goes, I don't know who Aquaman is, but I'm going to see it. I did.
I was bored. I didn't even want to go see it. I've never I don't dislike Jason Momoa, but I think he's all right, but I see why people would like it for sure. It's just that I was never super compelled by the idea, you know what I mean? I saw Justice League, so that kind of made me not excited to see Aquaman, so I wasn't as excited as I probably could be. But I think that people who saw the movie may have been like, oh, she's really pretty, and maybe thought that, but then they learned stuff about her that probably won't make them want to come back for more.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And what up, Donald? I see you. Jamie Vick, how are you? Margot, Nikki, hi everyone. I'm looking at your comments and I'm seeing them. It's just when we get to talking, sometimes I might not highlight everything or pull everything up, but I see you guys in the chat there. It gets a little bit busier when you have
Hold on one second. I'm sorry to stop this, but I didn't mean to cut you off or anything, but Nikki Harrison says you're all on the list, and a whole lot of us are as well. What a joke AH is. Did some new list come out, or are you just saying that in general, Nikki?
I think it's the bot, that bot list everyone was showing me.
Is there a new bot list?
I checked for new documents this morning, and there's nothing.
Okay.
She could have just mean the one that's already out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I was a little sad because I haven't made it yet. So,
well, the thing is, I'm convinced that she can't actually put us on there because guess what? We're real. She can't turn around and say, "Hey, this person's a fake bot that Johnny set up from Russia." Because look, no, we're not. It would go completely against her narrative. Or she could try saying that Johnny's been paying us. And again, that would go completely against her narrative because I don't own my own island yet. So no, Johnny has not been paying me. You can try what you want.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. Shelby's got a brand new chain, so.
Shelby does things on the side.
She's projecting, okay? If you want to know where she was before this, it was on the corner. Now,
it was.
It's true.
Oh my!
I tell no lies. She was on the corner. I have plenty of footage. I'm convinced that she might. Now, I said this in my stream yesterday, I believe. Not convinced, but I would think there's a high possibility that she could potentially try to find a way to come after us, you creators, and make a list of us, because I wouldn't put it past her. She's calling people bots and is trying to go after them, but she could be thinking, well, how can I go after these people? How can I get them? And I wouldn't be surprised if the list comes out with all of our names on it.
Well,
I should have made a list for so many other things, so. Yeah. Feel free, Amber.
Brian's going to be first on that list.
What was that list?
Brian's going to be first on the list. For sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. With a big star and asterisk, his name highlighted. That dude's got some great stuff over there. I was like, yeah, he's a good creator, man. I checked out some of his videos because people kept on talking about him. Like, who's this Brian guy? So I go check it out. I was like, oh, okay.
He started this. He started all of this.
An average, he is not. So I really love it if he would change his channel name, because it's really upsetting that he called himself just average.
Right. He's
Just average. Because
He's just-
average, no.
yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Jamie Vick says it's hard to say you won't watch what she's in because you don't want to impact other actors. It seems like her co-stars support her, so maybe it's not as bad to refuse, or it's not as bad to refuse to watch her stuff. And you know, this is the problem with these kinds of things when they happen. There were a lot of people, for instance, that were mad at certain things Disney did, and they said, "We're not going to watch Disney again." And it's like, did you watch Marvel? Yeah, I just saw Avengers Endgame. You watched Disney. Did you watch The Mandalorian? Yeah, I love that show. You're watching Disney. You can't, and that's the thing. These companies know you can't specifically say anymore, I'm not going to watch this person, because then what they'll do is like, okay, but do you like this actor? Do you like this actor? Do you want to see this movie?
You can't avoid everything. Yeah.
I think the best thing to do is what everyone's doing right now. When you put pressure and they start declining in like shows like this and stuff, instead of hurting the other actors, what it's going to do is it's going to reduce her roles. And I think after VA, you are going to see her, and I said this on Stevie's stream, I would not be surprised if she starts fading out, because look, she's 34. Her window for doing all of these things, as far as Hollywood is concerned, is shrinking. She's only got so long before she's still relevant, and the new latest young thing comes and replaces her. And I mean, people can say that's cold and callous, but that's the truth of Hollywood. That's how it runs. So she's on a time clock, and she's wasting her time attacking Johnny Depp when she needs to be trying to beat the clock and get as many of these roles as she can, because she's definitely no Susan Sarandon.
I was just going to say that. Sorry, Soups, go ahead, and then I'll say what I'm going to say.
I was just going to say something really quick. I was just going to say pretty much the age gap kind of isn't at, like, what am I trying to say? I guess if you're really a great actress and really valuable in Hollywood, then it's not going to matter as much. Like, you can keep going on for a lot longer, but when it comes to mediocre or Z-list like her, it matters a lot more. You know, her being young and her looks were really, really helping her out, but her acting, like, because she's getting older, her acting isn't really making up for everything else, you know?
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing, Zod, that she's no, like, she's not, we're not going to be celebrating her like we did with Betty White for her 99th birthday. We are not going to be doing that. She doesn't have staying power. She's not a Meryl Streep. She never was. She never will be. I don't think there's enough acting classes in the world that could get her to that point. So she doesn't have staying power. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to say, because I never want to see anyone fall down. I just think she's in the wrong career. She's in the wrong career.
Absolutely.
That's all it is. But she's in the right career for her now, because she gets, like, as I said, this is the role of her lifetime, and this is going to be her final bow. I think VA is going to be her final bow. Curtain calls for her.
Oh, I think so, for sure. I think, Virginia, definitely, because look at this. Even if with the jury, with White and all this kind of stuff, with all this stuff happening, even if it doesn't go in his favor and Depp's favor, people know what's going on. Like, people are going to be aware of what's going on. So and even if the movie industries or whatever, whoever the producers or whatever, don't come out and say that they turned her down for a reason, they might turn her down for somebody else and be like, oh, well, they did a better job. You know, people are going to know what's going on and just try to fade her out, even if not, I think, if she doesn't win, or if she wins.
She made, and I said this with my friend Pop Culture PB, and you guys could go check out that live because his reaction was hilarious. He laughed, spit out his beer, and said, WTF, and I'm censoring that. He's like, shit, you're joking with this article. I go, no, PB. I pulled up several. He goes, she did that? He goes, right now, he wishes he could be a fly on the wall. Because if you guys know Bob Iger, he's a shrewd prick, but he's good being a shrewd prick at what he does. Whether you hate or like him, he's made that company billions. We're not talking millions, like billions of dollars with some of the stuff he's done. She pissed off Bobby Boy. He probably made a phone call the day that this came out, and he's made it his sole mission to blackball her because she will never do a Disney product again. I can guarantee you that. And he probably called other people. And people also forget, too, that Disney has stakes in different companies, media-wise. There's very few actually competitors now as far as entertainment goes. You got Sony, who they're partnered with for Spider-Man, so that's kind of a love-hate thing. And then you got Paramount, Touchstone, whatever those other smaller companies are. But they all talk to each other. They all, like, we think just because they're competing, they don't talk. They all talk to each other. So I imagine Bob sitting there and going, oh, yeah, we're going to go take care of this. And he's on the phone the next day. So she better hope she better pray she wins VA, because if she loses VA, she's going to fade out of existence. I can guarantee she's going to fade out of the public eye.
She'll be done. And I just want to, sorry, Les, I know you're about to say something, but I just wanted to say that she subpoenaed Disney too. Do you think she's going to end up getting in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want Amber to be in the Marvel Universe, which I don't want her either. Most of us probably don't, even if you watch Marvel or not. But the woman went after Disney. I think that door's closed for her now.
Yeah. I wouldn't hire anyone that subpoenaed me, brought me into their personal private matter. No, keep me out of it. You're nothing but
Kevin has enough problems to worry about without having to deal with her. And Kevin is a great filmmaker because he shields his stars very well. Like, one thing Disney has is that tremendous spin machine, the media, and they actually know how to spin stories right. I mean, it's the only way that Captain Marvel did $1 billion. They told a big fat lie for that movie, and all of us got tricked. It had nothing to do with Endgame. I'm sorry. That's a side rant. Anyways.
I have to say, Zod, like, not to get too off top, not to like get off too off topic. I agree with that. They basically were like, Captain Marvel is like going to be the key to Endgame. And I don't know if that was like miscommunication. I try to believe that, but I don't know. But anyway, moving on. I don't want to get on. I don't want to, because this could go on forever. Just anyway, continue.
But see, so Kevin's good at that. But see, if you come into a production team or whatever and you're signed into a contract and then these problems develop, then they're like, okay, we have to shield you because you're part of our crew or whatever, depending on what it is. But when you come with baggage, that's a different story, because they can look at that before you get signed and be like, I don't think we want to add this on. Like Shelly said here, do not care about Brie, but I was totally there for Samuel, MF, and Jackson. Yeah, Shelly, I agree. I only went to see that movie. Well, I went to see it because my friends hate me, and I also went to see it because Samuel L. Jackson was in it. But my friends, so around this time, it was like my birthday, and every single birthday, my friends have gotten me the exact opposite of what I wanted. They took me to see Star Wars. I didn't want to see it. Twice, 2 different friends. I'm like, clearly you guys aren't subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much. And then, and then the second time, they all brought me tickets to Captain Marvel. I'm like, are you guys my friends? Like, do you not look at my social media whatsoever? They were like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry about that. So, I drank a Jack and Coke and called it a day. But anyways, the point being is that with all of the stuff that Disney's already entrenched with, and Warner Bros. Is under a lot of scrutiny for different things, no one's going to want her issues on top of that.
Right.
Who are we talking about? Brie?
Amber. I'm sorry.
Amber,
I went. They all connect. My point.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was just wondering who. I was just making sure I got that right. Yeah, no one. See, I don't want an abuser or somebody who harms people or does things like that to people in a movie I want to watch. And I'd like to believe, to me, that is the only good reason for me personally to never watch a movie. Like if somebody says some things that I don't like or that I disagree with and I think are annoying, I'm never going to try to like cancel a movie because of that, because me personally, that I could just ignore it and then move on with my life. But Amber, that's a great reason to not watch, because I don't want to support someone who hurts people and gets away with it.
What do you think, Les?
What I'm trying not to copy what Sue says, but she nailed it. I feel she nailed it.
I mean, so
it's because I cancel culture is just horrific. It's horrific. It is, and it could be from because I'm breathing, someone would want me canceled, like that kind of reason, because I breathe and they don't like it. So yeah.
And you know, I want to say I don't know all of this stuff, but like now, for example, Ellen DeGeneres. I've never been a huge fan of Ellen DeGeneres. I don't love the woman, but I don't know if she's ever hurt anybody. I don't believe she's hurt anyone. I'm still not a huge fan. But if this woman is truly sorry for the way she's talked to people or treated people, I don't think that people should keep ruining her life. And that's what I don't like about this cancel culture is if I did something in my life and made a mistake in the public eye and was super famous, I wouldn't want somebody to hold that over my head for the rest of my life if I've moved past that and did things to make myself better. And that's why, like, I just can't emphasize enough that I don't like when people say, oh, not supporting Amber Heard movies or anything she's related with is cancel culture. I don't see that as cancel culture. It's just not the same thing.
Well, the thing is, she's not only abused her ex-girlfriend, her ex-husband, but when she came out and she lied, let's not forget about the donations. Let's just say, I don't want to use the word abuse, but she treated those children horribly, saying you're going to get millions and then you got nothing because my crystal ball told me that Johnny's going to sue me. But she's on a regular basis, she's re-abusing and re-triggering millions of people. Like when she speaks, she doesn't think what kind of damage it is doing. Like, does she? The thing is, she follows us, right? She follows us. She sees the anger. She sees what people are saying. She sees that there's a good chunk, like the higher chunk of the like 50 to 60% of people are actual survivors. They're the ones speaking out, saying, what the hell, this is wrong. And she's not, it's like she doesn't give a crap that these are people with dollar bills in their pocket ready to spend and on movies that are not cheap to go to. And she's saying, and she's doing these things. She is so self-centered and so callous and so selfish and so that she just doesn't see it.
Yeah.
She just doesn't see it. And she's got, in my own honest opinion, she needs to go get a different job. That's all. I don't want to cause her any harm. I just want her to go away to a different job.
You're so nice.
Send her to the Department of Motor Vehicles. You know what I mean, Zod. I don't know if you have that up. Send her to work there.
I consider, if I die for some of the terrible things I may have done in my life, I could see myself being stuck at the Department of Motor Vehicles for all of eternity. And right when I get my number about to be called, I have to go to the back of the line all over again.
Hey, a job is a job, and that's completely fine if someone wants to work there. I don't think they even pay that bad or anything. But my point is, the woman needs to get in touch with reality. She's not in touch with reality, so that's why we're here. She doesn't care. It doesn't register in her head, oh, people aren't going to watch my movies, because in her brain, it's like, oh, I'm so good. I'm so good. Look at me. Arrogant, center, like Les said. It's all just, she doesn't care. And that's toxic to me. And that's scary. It actually scares me to know that she's freely roaming around on this earth.
Yeah,
I like that.
scares me too.
I wanted to say, hi, Keely Talks. Good to see you here. Don't worry that you're late. I was technically a minute late. Shelly says people are in such a rush to use their freedom of speech, right? And then they don't consider the far-reaching effects. And I want to just I'm using that because I want to get into the next thing here. Speaking of freedom of speech and its abuse with this UK thing. And my video did very well when I pointed out the charity thing, and I might do another video pointing the sun thing out. You know, it's been used for years for these outlets to say horrendous things about people with absolutely positively no facts, no evidence, and no truth. And the other reason why that I felt the UK case was important, like everyone highlighted Amber Heard, right, being a witness, but there's more to this. There's the fact that there's a media apparatus out there that was never actually put on trial, which is a joke within itself because the whole trial was supposed to be about the apparatus, but it became about Amber Heard, which I guess smart on their part for diverting the focus. Because when you think about it, what is that really about, right? It's about a newspaper being very, how do I put, being very not responsible, right? And putting out something that is harmful and hurtful to someone's career. Forget their feelings. We're not talking about feelings. We're talking about literally their career. A label like what they gave Johnny in that article, it's damaging. It's the kind of thing that ends careers. And they knew it, and they printed it with no proof and no facts. And the proof that they claimed to have was from a habitual liar. So without even sourcing. And I think that's the biggest thing that astonishes me about this case and why people are so mad, because like Shelley said, it's the use of this freedom of speech. Well, there's a limit to that. When you are calling someone a hurtful name, you're stepping out of freedom of speech and you're going to slander and name calling if we're going back to school. Yeah. And I don't know. I can't believe no one has held accountable these guys after all of this time. Like, sure, yes, Amber Heard, got the spotlight in that trial, but I felt like there's a bigger issue, which Tammy, congrats on spreading that call the media out. What about the media and them thinking that just because they're protected by freedom of speech, that gives them a license to say anything that they want to say about people? Right. I mean, what do you guys think about, like, because for me, that's a big problem. If they can get away with calling someone something and damn near destroying their career, that's scary. That's a huge issue.
It absolutely is a huge issue. And the fact that Johnny wasn't able to face Dan Wooten is just disgusting. I think that's like the biggest FU that they could ever have given him, is like, this guy wrote this article, ruined his career, ruined his reputation, and he didn't even have the cojones to turn up in court, or for whatever reason, didn't even have the balls to turn up and face the man that he ruined. That is disgusting. And the problem is that we're taking that, we're like, well, okay, well, apparently we can say whatever we want about people. No, we can't. We can voice our opinion of, well, maybe I just don't like their energy, or I just don't like their personality, and that's where it ends. But we're not allowed to go around and make things up willy-nilly because we don't like that person. We cannot do that. We need to normalize not lashing out from our own pain and hurt to hurt someone else. We need to normalize healing. We need to normalize all these things. We need to normalize putting people to task when they've done something wrong. And he got away with it left, right, and center. He got away with it. And I'm hoping that when that appeal gets turned around, because I'm sorry, Miss Wass's everything Johnny said was a lie is not a good enough reason for him not to have an appeal. Judge screwed up. he screwed up large. And I just hope that whatever happens in UK again, Dan Wooten is front and center to face what he's done. It pisses me off.
First of all, that was really, really good. I agree with everything you said. And also, let's not forget Miss Watts with her, what was it, 4 days on drugs? She did like 4 days. Sorry, that sounded wrong. 4 days on drugs. Well, I mean, I'm sure she was on drugs when she was testifying in the court because Anyway, but she spent 4 days speaking about drugs because No Nickels Nickel was talking about how she wanted to convince them that drugs are bad. Johnny Depp is a wife beater just because he did drugs. I just wanted to add that to that because that pisses me off too. 4 days on that.
Well, the thing is, if you look at Judge's track record, he did the same thing. Oh, what's his name? Guys in the chat, Freddie Starr. I want to say. I know. Dan did it. Yeah, I know Dan did a great video on it. That it was the same kind of thing, that they focused highly on the drug use and not on the person and the witnesses. So I think she knew that this was going to be her thing. And I also think she thought maybe she was going to shock and awe in the world. But the thing is, no one was in shock and no one was in awe at what we were learning because it was common knowledge. We're like, okay, let's get to the point. Like, hurry up, get to the point. And she never, ever got to the point. It was always, you were
my
high,
God. I'm gonna I was watching Court TV. I want to do my own video with my clever edits. And thank you, everybody who liked my video. It got like up to 3K now. Ridiculous. I can't believe you want to hear me talk. Thank you so much.
Nice.
But I want to do my own video edits for this because I'm watching and I'm like, it's like the greatest example of seeing someone talk in circles that I think I've ever seen. My daughter, I love her to death, but she's done the whole talk in circles to me pretty expertly. But Amber just took it to an art form. I'm watching going, is anyone not going to call out the fact she hasn't clearly answered not one freaking question since the beginning of the? I don't think she gave a definitive answer to anything.
She didn't. We're still waiting on answers from UK court. Still to this day.
No, shouldn't all of this show you what you're dealing with? Like, don't you think this is another subject, enough subject matter? At this point, sometimes I think they need to just lay out a case and look through it and think with a bunch of people and be like, okay, this is ridiculous. Is the average person going to believe that this person's nuts and out of it? Because I feel like there should be an easier way to put this to rest. Let's be real, right? Like, it doesn't take a judge. I mean, all of us literally could be a judge and be getting paid for it because we did such a better job than Nickel, or any of these lawyers.
I feel like if the judge from the VA would have been presiding in this courtroom, right? Because I just get the sense from how this guy has been expertly handling stuff. And don't get me wrong, he's given her stuff, but it's within the bounds of law because I looked it up. It's stuff that's fair. So he's showing I'm not completely on Johnny. I'm not completely on Amber. I'm on the law. So good on you, as Stevie would say, Mike. But anyways,
now sorry, there could also be here that, he is a fair dude and he's doing a great job and he's being very fair. But I'm sure he's also watching the backlash that Injustice is getting. And he's like, that is not going to be me. That is not going to be me.
No U.S. judge wants that because remember, Nichols is retiring. So right now we can say what we want to about him, but he doesn't care. He's probably in his yacht right now that douchebag paid for. And, he's going to be sailing away while we're all angry and looking at us going, I'm rich. So that's how I pick it. Because Ian Nichols, that was career suicide, what he did. Or it's a man who's out the door and just doesn't give a damn anymore. That's what I got based upon what I was hearing.
Sorry, I just thought of something. So that's a great point. I mean, the fact that the judge in Virginia is going to be thinking, okay, I better be careful. At least I hope. But also the career suicide thing you mentioned. That reminds me. Now I'm going to tell a brief story because it kind of ties into this. So there was once a college professor where a friend of mine went to school. This guy was like 80 years old, right? So in his last like 2 years or 3 years of teaching or whatever, he would just give people like, if you did a really terrible job, he'd give you like a B or an 80% on something, even if you basically failed it, or he'd give you an A if it was good enough, right? People are not really generally caring when they're on their way out. So I think that just goes to show you that this is what's going on here. Maybe that didn't really add a whole lot to this, but I guess that's what I'm just trying to show is that people generally aren't going to care about what damage they're doing when they're sort of on their way out and they're not going to be impacting people anymore. But I think in the legal system, you probably should care a little bit more, unless you have no spine or moral compass, which this guy possibly is lacking.
Hey, question for you guys. If it's found out that Nichols, that something happened, like that he was maybe coerced in some way, or there was something shady going on behind the back, would that not negate every single sentence he's ever or verdict he's ever set down? Like, wouldn't that throw out every single thing that he's done in his life?
Only if they bring criminal charges. Because see, here's the thing, and people pointed this out. They were doing a civil case as opposed to a criminal case. So in order to do that, they'd have to bring criminal charges against him. They'd have to convince him, which convincing a judge, good luck on that. And then they'd have to try and find that he is guilty, and then they could go back, and then they'd have to actually see what the ruling was, what the statements were. So no, it would be a long process that I'm sure the UK courts would never want to go through. Even just convicting him, like say they tie him to a conspiracy with Musk. And I'm not saying it's real, folks. I'm just conjecturing here based on evidence. That's just pretty blatantly obvious. But say he had us a tie to Elon Musk, right? And there's some bank accounts and he gets money. Well, once again, they'd have to bring a criminal, they'd have to bring criminal charges. They'd have to prove them. Then they'd have to try him. And by the time you did all that, this would be long done before it would be able to come back to Johnny's case. Okay. So the best thing they could do is just overturn the ruling based on that ridiculous statement he made. Right. Also, this thing with the charity was the best thing because within his own written statement, he mentions she's not a gold digger, and the $7 million comes up. Well, now that you disproved that she donated nothing, and screw you, ET, it wasn't 1,000. Johnny Depp did that. Research your stuff.
Yeah, it's in the document. I don't know why these people don't get their numbers right. It's all right there. It's all right there. Like, and she's a ding dong too because she's going against what is in her own divorce documents. Like, she's saying one thing, and I'm looking at my screen saying, "Well, that's not what you signed off on. That is not that is the complete opposite of what you signed off on." I think she was just so quick to get that $7 million granted to her. She was willing to do anything, and now she's regretting every single moment. She was just too money hungry.
Oh, she never thought that it would get to this, and she never thought that's one of the main points I think here is, like, the reason that she makes such, has done ridiculous things and people are like, wait, what the heck? How could she not think that through? Yeah, I think it's because she's probably used to manipulating people and getting her way and doing things and not facing the consequences. And people like Amber, their own self-interest in the end generally causes their own downfall. That's the way this usually works.
Bravo, Soupsies.
I was like, man, you guys have been on fire today. My own take is, and I said this before too in one of my thumbnails, I said the beginning of the downfall, right? When I was looking at this as a whole and looking at everything that was going on, it's like the lies are so paper thin. It's like when you got a sweater, right? And you got that loose little string and then you pull it and you think you're just taking out that string, but then the whole sweater comes undone and grandma's mad.
Grandma worked really hard on that sweater. Of course she's mad.
You hear that?
Sorry,
you hear that?
Grandma.
You hear
I
that
love your
grandma
sweaters.
down there? You hear
I
that
hear ya.
grandma down here?
I heard you. I heard you.
Are you sure?
Like,
I didn't know you could hear.
Oh, you hear this?
That's
You hear
right.
that?
but I
There you
mean,
go. Now we're back to normal.
but it's like you know, when you pull at a single thread and it comes this unraveled, it means that the lies that were constructed were never really that strong. And see, here's the thing. I agree with what everyone else says when they said she thought that she was going to do this thing where she'd attack him, and like every other Hollywood star we've seen, she shrinks him back away, even though he has the truth on his side. She thought he's not going to go through with it because he doesn't have a backbone. He's not going to pursue me. And where she made the mistake, if she would have just taken that money and quietly let things settle, like back in what, 2015, 2016, that this was?
Yeah. Oh, actually, no, 17 was the divorce, right?
I think it was 17, everything was finalized, right? So
Yeah.
if she would have just took the money and let it go, maybe Johnny wouldn't have done anything. But after that op-ed came out, and she just had to jump on the hashtag Me Too because she saw all these other stars being elevated, you know, and she's like, oh, I got a story. Right? And that's what it feels like to me. And here's the thing. I don't want to get too much into it because I'm going to cover it on Saturday. But I've got actually some surprising news on the hashtag Me Too front, because right now she's done something amazing. And I'm not going to go into it too much because I'm going to do it tomorrow night. But
excuse me,
she's splitting the movement. So it's amazing because she is single-handedly destroying a couple different things at once. Actually, she's quite an interesting character when you sit. Like, her ability to self-destruct everything is astonishing.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible to watch. It really is.
Her podium speeches, if you want to talk about interesting, just listen to her get behind that podium and let it go and let her rip. Because I'm telling you, sometimes I will think about it and I have to look it up because I'm like, wait a second, what? It's like, I am so having such a hard time getting through life because carrots have overtaken the planet. You know, that's the way her brain works. If you want to watch one of my recent videos, I basically like voice over one of her ridiculous speeches like in a room. It's just, what is she saying? Like, does she even know what she's saying? It's like her brain completely shuts off and words just fly out. It's like she's programmed herself to do this. And honestly, I'm impressed and also disturbed.
Well, and that's just it, because I too have watched her and just said, wow, like, she is fascinating. She is fascinating to listen to, because she can say an entire hour speech and say nothing at all, and people are captivated. It is incredible to watch, and she says nothing.
They're captivated probably because they're trying to figure out like what she's on. I'm assuming, like, that's usually what I think it is they're like, now again, guys, we don't think that people who suffer with substance abuse problems are bad people, but I still, if I saw someone having a speech like that, I'd be like, wait a second. I don't think that person is sober. I think that there's something going on there. Like, I think they took a hit of something, have been drinking all day long, maybe since last week. But yeah, I think it's possible.
You know, here's the thing too, and I hate that, and I've had comments from people who have been nice enough to tell me, yeah, I've dealt with alcohol abuse or something like that, right? And thank you guys for being, honest on my comment section and liking what I've said about it, because I feel it's true. Look, everybody has their own vices. Everybody has, if you're a human being, you have a coping mechanism. And it's not to say that it's the best, most constructive way to deal with your problems, but it's how you know. And look, I'd rather take someone maybe drinking too much or something like that than mass murdering a bunch of people, right? So when these people come out and make it sound like because Johnny Depp had issues here and there throughout his career, which once again, name me a star who hasn't, Hollywood. It's such an asinine and ridiculous argument because now you're saying not only are you segregating the people who are DV victims, but now you're saying people who have substance abuse issues are monsters, and no one's highlighted that. Like Hollywood is basically wants to have its cake and eat it too. They want to say he's this monster because he's doing this, but then they want to stand up for that same group. It's like, no, you can't have it both ways. You just called people who have issues all of these horrible names, and you might not have labeled it towards them, but you said because Depp has these personal demons that makes him this, this, and this. Well, what about the average people who go through stuff? What about the people who lose family members and this is how they're dealing with it, or they lose kids, or they lose their parents? Are they all demons? Are they all monsters? Are they all horrendous people? What about the people who like to have a drink and maybe they go a little bit too far, but they don't get violent? They're just fun, crazy. What about are all people? It's such a bad generalization.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly what they did. They and it really bothers me, and it bothers me deeply because I do have people in my life that have struggled, and they are the sweetest, most kindest, most amazingest people on the planet. They just got their vice got a hold of them, like their vice, it just grabbed them the wrong way, and it's just so upsetting because it's labeling everyone right off the hop, and already you have that label of addict. On top of it, society just doesn't like it. Instead of embracing those people and saying, okay, like, what can I do for you? What can we do to help you? Like, do you need some love? Do you need some support? What do you need? We kind of just shove them under the rug. And now this is just even more of proof that we just need to have more compassion. We need to normalize compassion.
That's a great point. I agree, Les. And what people don't seem to think, kind of going off of that, what people don't seem to think when it comes to people who might be suffering from substance abuse issues is that these people are actually suffering not only with that, but mentally, and might be very depressed about what they're going through. And people don't seem to think that when these people are feeling this way and they get really low, and then they find out that people are looking at them and looking down on them and not wanting to help them and see them as less, that's not going to really motivate people to want to even get better, really, right? If you keep shaming people like this. So, yeah, it's just all around. It's stupid. Johnny Depp has always been open. That's the thing. He admits, he's like, oh, I've had issues with it in the past. I try to get my act together, Amber, no, she's like, oh, I only drank to get slightly buzzed. Then I never drink anything other than red wine. Yeah, like, I mean, I guess if I decide to only drink whiskey and become a jackass and get aggressive, I guess that's fine because I don't drink anything else, right?
See, that's using something as an excuse as opposed to actually owning what your issue is. And see, those are the differences that people don't seem to understand. It's like in this debate, I've seen two different things. I've seen a guy who owns his mistakes and his flaws and who knows what he's done, and he's like, yeah, it's happened, I'm getting help, I'm doing better, whatever else, right? Because he says he's been getting help and getting his stuff back on track. And then you have her that instead of being like, oh yeah, I was drinking, I may have went too far, that that's on me, she says, oh no, I only do. It's like, yeah, that's like a heroin addict going, I only shoot one needle a day, I don't do two, so it's not that bad. No, right, if you have an issue, it is bad, Amber. It is bad.
Right, exactly. And the craziest thing is, so if people who say, "Oh, I was drunk," to excuse their behavior, first of all, I don't like you if you do that. I'm sorry, I just don't. If you think, I understand people have, you might do something stupid when you're drunk, but if you try to excuse the behavior that you exhibited because you were under the influence, then you're not taking ownership. But the fact that she's claiming, instead of saying, "Oh, I was drunk, it didn't make a difference." Some people do stuff when they're drunk. She just says, "Oh, I don't drink to excess at all." She literally denies it altogether, which is even worse than saying, "Oh, I was
Yeah.
drunk," you know?
Yeah, admit it. Just admit it. If she took responsibility for at least one thing, I think I'd have a little bit more respect for her, but she takes no responsibility for anything. Not even throwing up in the parking lot of the hotel at Coachella. Can't even do that.
And I mean, here's the thing,
It was
guys.
Whitney.
On my stream, I took responsibility for falling asleep while I was still on air and throwing up previously after that. So,
Did you
stuff
fell
happened.
asleep streaming?
Yeah, I was streaming and I asked the chat what I wanted to do. I think it was my birthday stream or something. And yeah, it was my birthday stream. And so I threw up and I fell asleep on stream. My wonderful girlfriend had to carry me in the house, and I was still live when this was going on. And so I was like, yeah, that happened. I admit I went a tad bit too far there for fun's sake.
It
But
happens.
that's the thing, right? There's a huge difference between, if you do something, you're like, "All right, that was too far," than being like, "Oh, well, it doesn't count because I was drinking."
Yeah, it could have been just like, oh, I was drinking, so it doesn't. No, it does matter, and I think that's the whole point. And look, I'm gonna start wrapping this up because I gotta
Yeah.
pick up the cute little dictator. Maybe I'll have her on. You guys can see the young one. Well, she's 14. I don't know. She's young, but anyways, my whole point is this: is that I think people need to take responsibility for what they do. Hopefully, there's justice in this, and we also need to hold the media accountable. So, Cherry, I know you're all about those hashtags. Put hashtag hold the media accountable because they're just as irresponsible with this story as everybody else. Either they deny anything's going on right now or they're on the fence. And you guys need to pick a side because it's either you're picking the wrong side or the right side. There is not an in between. We have a clear right and wrong person here. And if you're going to sling mud at someone and you find out that it isn't true, then you should have the integrity to apologize for it and get on board with the person. So thank you, Cherry. Hashtag hold the media accountable.
Hell yeah. That's right.
So, get that trending because I've had a lot of people say like, wow, I'm glad that you brought this up. I'm like, yeah, we should hold them accountable because you're promoting to a audience who doesn't dive into it like we do. And you're saying something and facts that aren't true. And if you're going to be responsible for reporting, you should tell people the truth because that's just as bad as Amber Heard lying. You're co-signing a lie. And that to me is even worse when you know it's not true. So anyways, let me just get ready to go. So I'll go down the line here. Where can they find you, Miss Shelby?
You can find me at Shelby Soup on YouTube. That's what you're asking, right? Like my links and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, you can find me there on Shelby Soup on YouTube, and then you can find me Shelby Soup on Twitter. But my username is I am Shelby Soup, and also Instagram. I think it's Shelby YouTube 3. But you can type in Shelby Soup. Yeah, so you'll probably find it. Thank you, Les, for clarifying. I should know my own username, but
I don't know mine, so it's fine. I'm expecting you to clarify for me when it's my turn.
I believe it's spiritually empowered coaching. I'd like to believe. Or it's
I'd like to believe that too. I just don't know if it is or not.
I'll check now. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And then I think let's see where you can find Les. I'll help her out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So you can find me. Go ahead. What is it?
Spiritually _empowered. There you go.
There we go. So that's Instagram. Twitter, I have no idea. All I know is I had to put a 1 in there. Spiritually Imp 1. It's all under my YouTube. It's everything's in my description box. My Twitter, my Facebook that I never go on, and don't try and find me there. Just don't. And I'm under SEC now under YouTube. So thank you so much for having us, Sod.
Yes, thank you.
Oh no, it's been great. I wish I had a little bit longer, and it's going to be interesting getting across town. But anyways, of course, you guys can find me at General Zod's Fandom Zone on Twitter. I think I linked it in the description. Check out my Teespring. I just dropped my shirts and hoodies. I think that they look pretty cool, and they have a theme. JD is innocent, Zod says. So, I'm just saying, Krypton has spoken. He's an innocent man. You can trust us, especially a ruler of Krypton. Anyways, you guys can check that out. Tomorrow, join me and Father Zod on here. We've actually got some stuff you might not have seen concerning Johnny Depp. And we're going to show you the kind of character he has. We got some footage that's not very well known. And if you guys want to see that footage, you're going to have to come back tomorrow night at 10, because we'll play something you guys might not have seen, but it really does highlight why Amber Heard is full of crap about the type of person he is. Also, Father Zod has gotten his hands on some interesting articles that I don't want to spoil because I promised him I wouldn't, but she might have also damaged some other things in Hollywood, and we're going to tell you what those are, because she's creating a divide, let's just say. So it's going to be very interesting, that stuff. And Sunday, me and Bitchy Unicorn will be talking about The Room. If you want to see something really funny, well, I should have taped her reaction to the movie. I was laughing so hard because that was the stuff she said. So we're going to do a review on one of the most terrible movies ever made / one of the best movies ever made.
Perfect.
By Mr. Tommy Wiseau. So check that out too. It'll be funny. We'll be here. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Click that like button if you're new, and tweet this out. Subscribe. I love all 701 people. Thank you so much. I love you all. You're all breathtaking, and we shall see you again later tonight at 10. Goodbye for now.